BFTB, best fight the best. Fight week. Five days left. Let's get into it. So Reiss did an interview recently, and Jack Reiss says some very, very telling things. Some very, very telling things. And some of them, again, because I'm the type of dude, you can't say certain things around me, because when you do, I'm looking, I'm researching, I'm diving in to them. So it's like there's certain things you can't say. I am an analytical thinker. So speaking certain words, certain things, is going to make me start looking into certain things and certain words. Now I know one of the things that people are going to, they're blatantly going to talk about is the fact that Jack Reiss said he did not give Tyson Fury the first 4 rounds. In his opinion, Tyson Fury lost the first 4 rounds. So Tyson Fury agreed with me. And not Tyson Fury, but Jack Reiss. Jack Reiss agreed with me. Jack Reiss said Tyson Fury lost the first 4 rounds. He did not see what the judges saw, and he was in the ring. In his opinion, Deontay Wilder was the effective aggressor, landing the better punches, and won the first 4 rounds. That right there is a low-hanging fruit. That is the obvious. That's the obvious thing that stands out in this interview. What stands out to me, what stands out more importantly to me, is Jack Reiss's expectations. Because your expectations will lean you, or tip the scales a little bit for certain things that happen that shouldn't happen if you have no expectations. If you go into a fight, if you as a judge, as a ref, go into a fight, and of course we're all human. We're all human. But as humans, and I know probably every judge does it, they have their thought process, because again, they're human. However, Jack Reiss's thought process, if Jack Reiss's thought process was, oh, this fight's going a distance. This fight's going a distance. But then he's going to look at things differently. He will be more like, and this is one of the reasons why there should be a clock that counts, because it takes out human error. It takes out human error. Now, let me explain this. If your expectation is that this thing is going a distance, it's going a distance, right? Then when someone gets floored, your count could be swayed. Meaning you're hyper, like, damn, I thought this was going a distance. 1, 2, is it going 3, 4? Your count is different because you thought it was going the distance. It's the exact opposite. The exact opposite when you think it is not going a distance. When you think it's not going a distance, it's more of a, oh shit, 1, 2, 3. It's a different count. Because in your mind, what you're thinking is, damn, I thought this guy was going to get knocked out. Shit. And he's actually going through with this? Damn. So your count's different. And let's just say it was in the inverse. Let's just say you thought the fight was going to go the distance, so you count slow. Or you think the guy was going to get knocked out, so you count fast. Let's just say it's the inverse of what I just stated. That's even more the reason why there should be a clock in the corner that someone automatically hits the button and lets run. They just let it run. All you have to do as the referee, right, is look at the clock and stay on pace with the clock. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all you got to do. Stay on pace with the clock. The clock, and as a matter of fact, the ref doesn't even have to count if the clock is going. All the ref has to do is watch the guy, help him get up. Now, of course, it's tradition to count, cool, but there's a clock there to guide the ref. There's a clock to guide the ref. He doesn't have to worry about his emotions. He doesn't have to worry about if he's going too slow or going too fast. He doesn't have to worry about any of that. The electronic clock is right there. All you have to do is follow what's there. Nobody will ever be able to say you counted too fast or you counted too slow. Nobody, because there is a clock there that all you have to do is follow what the clock says. That's it. That's it. You don't have to worry about no one on the outside of the ring, nothing. All you have to do is follow what the electronic clock says. You take the speculation, human error, you remove it. So I looked at what Jack Reiss was saying about his expectations. His expectations. And I understand again, as a referee, right? As a human being, you're gonna have those type of thought process as a human being. But you have to remove that. Because you are a referee. You're a ref, and as a ref, your job is fighter protection. That is your job. And I've seen Jack Reiss do his job very well in different fights. I've seen him do it very well. You know, when he comes out in the Lomachenko fight, where Lomachenko dropped that former champion, where Lomachenko dropped the former WBA champion. And then when the guy fell, Jack Reiss stopped the fight. Just waved it off. Didn't tell the guy to get up. Didn't tell the guy to walk left or walk right. Didn't see the guy's eyes. None of that. The guy fell on his face. He stopped the fight. So if Tyson Fury would have fell on his face, I wonder if Jack Reiss would have stopped the fight. If Tyson Fury fell on his face. Now moving on to the other thing that Jack Reiss said. Jack Reiss said when Tyson Fury fell, when Deontay Wilder knocked him out, Jack Reiss said that Tyson Fury, he was in trauma and blah blah blah, and he was trying to lay out all his credentials on why he did what he did, laying out his medical credentials, and he said that Tyson Fury's leg was still up. His leg was still up in the air, like one leg was still up in the air. Bro, there has been many fights where fighters have one leg up in the air when they're knocked out. There's been many fights like that. And as a matter of fact, when I sleep, when I'm literally knocked out at nighttime, sleep, I sometimes sleep with one of my legs bent and my knee up. I sleep like that. So when he said that, I was like, hold on a second, dog. So you're telling me that I'm really not asleep because my leg is one of my legs is bent and it's up. So I'm really not asleep because that leg is not under my other leg. You're trying to tell me that. And I legitimately sleep like that at times. Legitimately. I legitimately sleep with one of my knees. Matter of fact, many people have. Shit, one of my old girlfriends used to sleep with one of her legs up like that. Like, what? Wait a minute, bro. So you telling me this bitch was woke the whole night? So you trying to tell me this bitch was woke the whole night? She was woke. All right, my dude. All right. So all this time, I'm wondering why I'm like tired in the daytime at times. It must have been because I really wasn't asleep. Because one of my legs was up. My leg was bent and it was up. So I must not have been asleep that whole night, which explains why I was tired all day. Totally understand now. Totally get it. Now, what he's saying will probably have some legitimacy. It probably would have some legitimacy if Tyson Fury himself hadn't said that he was out cold, out like a light switch. He did not remember getting hit. He was fighting, and then he opened his eyes at the count of 5. That's what Tyson Fury said. He said he was fighting. Then the next thing you know, he opened his eyes at the count of 5. He did not remember getting hit. He did not remember going down. He didn't feel anything. He was just out. Out cold, out like a light switch. Those are his words, not mine. So Jack Reiss, in all your, he's going over all these fucking years. Oh, I was an EMT for 57 years. And 35 years after that, I was a ref. And 94 years after that, I studied the brain. Like, nigga, listen, bro, Jack Reiss, that was it. Bro, you made a mistake, dude. Just leave it at that. You don't gotta, for the past 95 years. For the past 95 years, I've been studying the brain. And everywhere, when you see somebody's eyes, they're, he said, he's like, the man's eyes was open, is what he said. He's like, oh yeah, well, what people don't realize is when the knockdown happened, and I told Deontay to go to the corner, and I turned around, his eyes was looking at me like they were looking at me from the side. They were looking at me. Yes, they were looking at you from the side. Yes, they were. That is true. They were looking at you from the side. And then he says, when I got to 5, that's when his eyes opened up. That's because that's when he woke up. When you got to 5 is when he woke up, by Tyson Fury's own admission. So just because his eyes was partially open and looking that direction at you does not mean the man was awoke. Factually proved that he wasn't, because he said he wasn't. Factually proved. I'm guessing you've never heard of people sleeping with their eyes open. I'm guessing y'all never heard that. I'm guessing you never heard of people sleeping with their eyes open. That's what I'm guessing. Guessing you've never heard of that. Huh, what an anomaly. What an anomaly. I cannot believe that people actually sleep with their eyes open. Oh my God. No, I don't believe it. It's never happened before. Tyson Fury was knocked out. He was unconscious. Don't believe my words. Don't believe Deontay Wilder's words. Do not believe the LDBC. Do not believe anybody who's not the LDBC that believes he was unconscious. Believe Tyson Fury. Oh, what? Y'all not going to believe him either? Come on, BFTB. Everybody knows that you can't believe everything Tyson Fury says. Come on, BFTB. You can't believe Tyson Fury. You can't just believe everything Tyson Fury says. Come on. All right. So you're just going to believe what you want to believe then. All right, I got it. You want to believe that Tyson Fury was not knocked out. You want to believe that. Although everybody, to include Tyson Fury, says that he was knocked out and then he got up. Everybody says that. But you don't want to believe that. You don't want to believe that. And then when you finally do come to your senses and do believe it, you say, but he got up though. But he got up. So what? So the fuck what? Every fighter that gets knocked out gets up unless they are dead. Spilka got up from the hospital. Sergey Lahovich got up. Louis King Kong Ortiz got up both times. Bermain Stavern got up. What are you saying to me? They were still knocked out. They were knocked out. Yes, they got up because they were not dead. So they did get up, but that does not mean that they were not knocked out. Tyson Fury was knocked out. So Jack Reiss says, oh yeah, you know, I was always taught you give the champion, you count a champion out. I was always taught that. But then the former WBA champion that Lomachenko knocked out, you didn't even count. You waved it off. The man fell on his face. You waved it off. How could you see his eyes when the man's laying on his face? How would you know to count the champion out if the man is laying on his face? How would you know? What's the criteria? Do you roll him over? Because when you rolled over that guy that Lomachenko knocked out, when you rolled him over, you told him don't move. You told him do not move. Lomachenko knocked him down. The man fell down. He fell down on his side of his face. You told him do not move. You waved it off and told him do not move. Did you give him an opportunity to stand up? Move to the left. Move to the right. Come here. Do you want to continue? You're a champion. I'm going to count the champion out. Did you allow him that opportunity? No, you did not. So you cannot say, I've always been taught to count a champion out, because if you have always been taught to count a champion out, then you did not do what you have been taught to do. You as a ref in that position said, fighter safety. Well, that fighter was not unconscious. And you waved the fight off. Tyson Fury, on the other hand, was unconscious. The very fact that his eyes was slightly looking at you, you know, like someone when they get punched or their eyes roll to the back of their head, doesn't mean their eyes roll up. They could have rolled to the side, to the left or to the right. His eyes rolled. They just happened to roll in the direction that you were walking from. But he was unconscious. The reason why his eyes popped open is because he woke the fuck up. Duh. It baffles me. It blows my mind how the level of inconsistencies that people have, and they're willing to live with. They're willing to live with these levels of inconsistency if it favors who they like and support. If it favors who they like and who they support, they are 100% willing to live with these inconsistencies. 100%. It's totally okay for them to be like, all right, well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Tyson Fury got up. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Jack Reiss, yeah, he waved up the Lomachenko fight, so he should have waved it off. Oh, well, I mean, but Tyson, it doesn't matter. Tyson Fury got up. Well, how do we know what that guy would have done if Jack Reiss would have allowed him the opportunity to get up? How do we know? Do we know if that guy would have been able to walk to the left, walk to the right, and move forward? Do we know if he would have been able to do that? We have no idea if he would be able to walk to the left and walk to the right, because he was not allowed to do that. We have no idea. Jack Reiss removed that from him. A former champion. Jack Reiss removed that from him. That man might have been able to walk to the left and walk to the right and then move forward. He might have been able to do that. But should he have? I believe Jack Reiss should have stopped that fight. I do. I believe Jack Reiss did the right thing when he stopped that Lomachenko fight, because that guy was in no condition, in my opinion. And neither was Tyson Fury. He was unconscious. You were counting over an unconscious person who did not hear anything until you got to 5. If someone is sleeping and you go into that person's room while they are sleeping and start counting, and they just so happen to wake up when you get to 5, they didn't hear 1 through 4 because they were sleeping. They were unconscious. That fight should have been stopped. Deontay Wilder was robbed of a knockout. The man was robbed of a knockout. That fight, that was Deontay Wilder's knockout. That should have been on his resume. He was robbed of that fight. But all they want to talk about is how Tyson Fury got up. Well, Tyson Fury wouldn't have been able to get up if Jack Reiss would have done his job. You cannot ref one fight one way and then ref another fight another way. All right? You have to be consistent, because when you're not consistent, it stands out blatantly. BFTB. Shout out to the LDBC. And I'm out.